I wanna be a billionaire. I ain't getting no sleep till I see $1 million every week. I wanna be a billionaire. I ain't getting no sleep till I see $1 billion every week. I wanna be a billionaire. Billionaire. I wanna be a billionaire.
Ladies and gentlemen, how you doing? Welcome to another episode of Sleep is for Billionaires, the podcast. I am your host, JONNI VEGAZ. Now today, ladies and gentlemen, you're in for a treat. I got a special guest on my show. This man is a SAG actor, stunt performer, and the founder of the nonprofit organization Bikes Over Bangin. Ladies and gentlemen, KORTA T.
Good to meet you, King. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me today,
Thank you for coming through, brother.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? I appreciate your existence, man. I see what you're doing out there, man. You definitely moving the way you want in your own direction, bro, and you're making a positive change.
Stand in my lane, man. Definitely stand in my own lane, dude. And it's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
you look like you're having fun, man. You look good, man.
Thank you. There's no traffic over here, man.
Hey.
So I get to move and maneuver and do my thing, bro.
That's what's up, man. Well, the concept of this show is to get insider information for those looking to want to be in your position. So you as an actor, stunt performer, and a nonprofit organization founder, I want you to shed light on the entrepreneurial side of things that helped you start this business and plans to maintain for the near future. But before we get started on that, where you from?
I'm from LA, man. From
okay,
Watson,
born and raised?
Born and raised, man. I got the towers on my arm.
Okay.
It's a little dark, but I've been tanning lately.
Yeah, okay. You've been traveling.
yeah, most definitely. But yeah, I'm from Watson, man. That's pretty much the basis on my program, Bikes Over Bangin. When people hear it, if you're familiar with LA culture, it's cut and dry. Like you understand it. When I say the names of other cultures, or people that don't really understand, they think banging as females. They think it like exactly.
Okay.
So it's funny, mostly like the Caucasian descent always hit me like, yeah, banging, dude. I'm like, nah, dude, banging like Bloods, Crips. They're like, oh, yeah, that's crazy. So are you a gang? I'm like, nah, I'm not a gang member. I have friends that are affiliates, and that's another thing too that one of the first questions that comes about when people ask me about Bikes Over Bangin, like, do I get any negative feed from it being Bikes Over Bangin? Like, oh, so what? Like, am I talking down on gang members? I'm like, a lot of the times when the people that I know that are in gangs, and not that they was forced in it, but it's just like a product of their environment, and I feel like I'm a product of my environment as well, but I just chose a different route, Right. I mean? Like my dad put a bike in front of me at a young age, and then that was my motivation. That was the carrot on the stick,
right,
so to speak, metaphor of what kept me in a direction that not to say that I didn't go off off the path a couple times or a few times.
Right.
I just been blessed enough that I'm still here and I made it. I made it to that point or to this point, and so it's like with the whole concept of Bikes Over Bangin. Originally. I just saw the influence that I carried in my community, and I saw that how I was able to redirect a lot of the energy by just hopping on my bike and just doing what I was doing, tricks. And, I would see people that would normally be focused on looking, hold down their block for a minute, that split second that they see me, what's this? Oh, I'm entertaining them. It just changed. And I started looking at it, and I was like, how could I capitalize on this, in a positive sense?
Right.
And then I was doing rides, like sport bike rides, street bike rides, dirt bike rides, with all these different styles of bikes, even mini bikes. 2013 is one of the, that's when I started it. But even before that, I didn't have the name, but I had the concept, and the concept always came from, I believe the way that my dad raised me and my brother. So, he always told us, if you want this, then you can't be affiliated or jump into this, because this is going to, cancel out what this really is, which is bikes. So,
right.
Fast forward back to 2013, I was pretty much had the streets on lock when it come to when I throw a street bike ride or dirt bike, just a big ride out. Similar to the ones that you would catch on the East Coast. These dudes, I was a dude, and I feel like, still am the dude when it comes to riding on the West Coast. But, now that there's a lot of other riders, younger riders, that I feel, I've been able to influence in a positive sense to do something positive with what they have, their power. You got a lot of power when you're in the street. So you can always use it for good or bad. And I think for me, I was like, I played the superhero role. You know what I mean? Like I felt like I could be a superhero, and not a villain in them. You know, I could have took it and been like, yo, it's bikes and banging, bikes. You know, like it could have been that, but I was like, yo, nah, because then it counts about us trying to get to the next level.
Yeah,
the next
make that change.
Yeah, make the change. And I just saw that, like, as I was doing more things in my life with bikes, how much, you know, God was blessing me with opportunities. And I was just like, y'all need to be able to pass these opportunities down to the next generation. So before it was like, let me get some of the people that are already wrapped up and stuff and try to unravel them in it. But it was just harder to break through with someone who was like, you know, 10, 15 years in the game, and they gang bangers like, and I didn't have at the time a solution. Is, you know, if you're gonna tell somebody to stop doing something, you need to have something that you could turn an alternative.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, I don't really have an alternative. I'm creating that right now. So the best thing for me was like, yo, I could focus on trying to help these, you know, adults and help people. And I did, you know, I still do help, you know, a lot of adults, but my focus changed. It went to the youth. I was like, yo, I might not be able to redirect, you know, the older people that are adults that have made decisions already.
Right.
I can't really steer them that much because I can't really tell them, hey, yo, you can do this now, you can do this. Because they got, you know, you get dudes who got felonies or they in positions, they got cases and stuff like that. And not to say that it's impossible, but I was like, yo, how could I be more impactful in my community? And I was like, the kids. So I started focusing on just the youth and just different neighborhoods. I was able to get a bunch of different kids from different places and then bringing them together. And the kids that would normally not be affiliated or associated with each other from different neighborhoods because of, you know, whatever gang or whatever it may be, territory, whatever it may be, stuff that happened before they were even born and stuff that they might not be like, I'm not messing with them because of it's an unwritten law, you know, in the streets. So it's like, yo, to not break the law, but the unwritten law, but like rewrite it. Like that's what's like, yo, nah, we gonna come together. And then, you know, my power that I used was like, y'all, they like, oh, you dope, you nice on the bike.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you can do that too. You can be nice too. Oh, I want to. All right, well, this is what you have to do. You know, I started laying out guidelines for them to do it. And the ones that really stay dedicated are the ones that are still with me now. You know, and their parents are big influences. And I think that like it made a big path for what we call Bikes Over Bangin now. You know, because now these kids are, you know, 3-4 years in, you know, with me as a mentor. Right. And it changed their life. I can see a lot of change in their lives as a character, how they, you know, what their goals and what their dreams are, you know, as opposed to when I met them and I asked them questions like that. Now you ask them, I'm like, yo, it's a total different thing. And I mean, obviously they've matured and got older, so stuff changes, but I think that the stuff that I've been able to expose them to has had a big impact on that too.
That's great, man. Like I said, I think that your organization is the start to change the narrative as far as the perception that people have on gangbanging, you know, and that whole culture, you know, because people see it, like you said, the Caucasian, they might look at it and just be like, oh, only think about violence and shit like that. You want to at least steer the narrative to be like, nah, we're more than that, you know.
Way more. Yeah.
So, you know, and what do you think, what do you think that comes from, though, as far as like, that perception that people have on gangbang culture instead of it just being a brotherhood of what it is, you
because of the real life like definition of it, you know, that's written, you know, what gangbanging is, and I can't sit here and say like, oh, gangbanging isn't negative. There's a lot of negative things that come from it, but when you go back and you retract the steps of history, you know, it was created, you know, gangs were created to keep, you know, our minority communities together and have a structure for them to have something to lean on. Because as you can see now, the corruption in law enforcement, you know, it's never been 100%, you know, worked in our favor. So to keep that or keep some type of balance between that, you know, they created a blood, they created a crip that was symbols in the community so that would back our civil rights, that would back stuff, so that when you have people that would come in and try to just abuse and do things that were, you know, positive on our community, they would stand in. And along the way, it went to something else. And a lot of that, if you look like, shout out to Snowfall, which is one of my favorite shows too.
Mm-hmm.
That if you look at that, you can see that like that had a big influence. Meaning the drug, when they brought the crack epidemic into our, and I was a victim of that myself. Growing up in LA, my mom was on crack for like years, bro, over 10, 15 years.
I'm sorry to hear that. I can't imagine that shit.
So I was affected directly by that, and with that, I didn't go.
She good now though, right?
Nah, she good. My mom is a business owner. She's
That's
like hustler. She's always been a hustler, but she's been able to clean up her life, and she's a major part of my life. And I love her. I've been loving my mom even when she was doing what she was doing. Like they say, it's an illness once they get on it. But I'm glad she was able to beat that. But I think that changed that derailed what Bloods and Crips really stood for at that time. And then it became something else. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and go through the whole history. Y'all can watch the history of Bloods and Crips, and you'll see
watch the Tukey movie or something like that.
Yeah, go watch that, and then you'll understand exactly what I'm talking about. But I feel like with the whole like outbreak of negativity that was instilled into our community with that, I think that for me, I look back at it and I'm like, yo, I got to get back to the root of that. People don't see that, what it really was, and like you said, why do people have that stigma? I mean, look at the movies, look at everything that's revolved around it. And, everyone knows that it's true that negative attention has a broader reach and effect then compared to positive.
Right.
And I noticed that a lot of times too, even with my program being a positive program, like I'll see something come up hasn't even been nowhere near as concrete as what we have, and I'll see that get so much attention, but it's so harder for me to get that same attention and get that same response to helping something positive. I mean, of course it's discouraging at times, but I think I just use that and I recycle that energy to motivate me to.
You gotta be fuel to the fire, man, all times, brother.
Yeah, no doubt.
This game could get very discouraging.
Oh,
especially when things don't go your way, but that rent's still coming every 30 days. It's like,
real,
shit.
Man, like that's that right there is one of the biggest things, man. Like, and even my own dad, at times, like before I became who I am now, I would always hear that from him. Like, he didn't 100% back my dreams. He was like, I remember not too long ago, and he was like, man, you on these bikes, you need to figure your life and do something that, that's going to pay your bills or something, because you spending so much money and you putting so much into this, but what are you going to do with this? Like,
he just wanted you to have that stability.
No, I know. I definitely I understand it. And I understood that then, but I was like, yo, like, my passion is deeper than that. Like, I'm not, my dad worked for the city. He's getting ready to retire. And that's good. That's good. That's a good job.
Yeah,
and
get that pension.
I could have been in that so long ago. Like, I could have been into that. But I just, it wasn't for me. Right. And I told him that. I was like, yo, that ain't for me, man. I'm not a 9-to-5 kind of dude. And he's just like, and I'm like, we live in a different age where you can create. You just got to be as dedicated and as productive as, you would be on a 9-to-5. But, you actually have to be more, because it's not a guaranteed check. You go do these hours. Like, I'm here at this interview. That don't mean I'm not getting paid for this. No disrespect to you, but I'm here. We here to do something that's going to be bigger than a paycheck that may land a paycheck. It's the same thing, but I look at it like, when he told me that, it was just like, nah, I had to actually go out on my own feelings and my own, judgment. And I mean, I'm here now. And even now when I talk to him, he's like, yo, I mean, to see where I'm at now, he's like, yo, I'm proud of it. I would have never thought of that, or I would have never, pictured it, because I didn't have the vision, and you stayed with your vision. And my dad, he had me at a young age. He wasn't super young. He was like 20 or 21 or something like that when he had me. So, but he was like, yo, grind mode. He switched on the grind mode. My dad was heavily into the bike scene, you know, the drag race scene, the dirt bike scene.
Oh, so that's where you got it from.
Yeah, my dad put me onto this, man. Like, no doubt, man. My dad and then my uncle Hassan put me into another.
They still ride now?
My dad still does. My dad does like a lot of the same stuff that I do.
Okay.
And he just does it on a weekend warrior type of thing. He don't do it on the regular.
Y'all doing like father-son events kind of thing?
Not events, but we do kind of like I usually do like a big camp trip. For my birthday. I usually go out to like El Mirage because like it's not as restricted when it comes to having certain stickers on your bike to like green sticker registrations. A lot of the homies from the hood don't have all that.
Yeah.
You know? So I can't pick certain places to go ride because it's gonna cut down that circle, and I want everybody to be able to experience it. It's a flat, dry lake bed, so you don't have to have too many skills to actually get on the dry lake bed. We take trips around the area where there's trails and stuff for the ones that have more skill, but like that's one of the father-son trips that we do. And then we do like Memorial Day and stuff like that. And then I have a toy hauler, which is like a RV that you hook up to the back of a truck,
right? And
then you can put all your toys in and close it up, and then take them out, set up shop inside, AC, everything, and you just pretty much like a mobile home. So we usually take that, and then it gives, you know, the kids that I mentor a chance to experience, you know, another side of life. So I think that's one thing that we do a lot together. So.
Now that's cool, man. So where did the acting come up in all of this? You know, because it sounded like you were bred to do what you're doing now, which is ride bikes and sort of do that.
That came about because once I started to get into the movie side of things and being a stuntman.
Oh, so you started first in the movies as a stuntman, not as an actor.
Yeah, as a stuntman, and then you know they'll throw you some parts and see if you can do it. Like when I just did Bad Boys 3. You know,
congrats on that.
Thank you. They threw us some lines, just not even scripted. Just hey, you say this, say that, do that. So you know, gun in my hand, say that, yo, you gotta say our lines.
You got that sack bump.
Yeah. Of course, man. Yeah, like that right there was different too because like, you know, first movie I did was Straight Outta Compton. Shout out to F. Gary Gray too for blessing me with the opportunity to work on Straight Outta Compton with me and a couple of my other homies that, you know, ride bikes. They had us.
So this is the beginning scene when they were coming.
We had
to
us dressed up like Crips. We were rolling on the sidewalk, Willie and doing all that.
Yeah.
So
okay.
that was us, and that came from F. Gary Gray because I worked with him on a Nissan gig back in the day. Because before I started doing bike stuff, I was working on cars.
Okay.
I started working on cars. Well, I was a technician.
Okay.
At a company that did it's called Car Prep, which is like you take cars to set. You pretty much babysitting the cars, making sure that they don't get damaged, and you working for manufacturers directly. You know, third party through the company that I work through, but you know, I'm working with the art department, art directors, whoever is in charge of creating the content for ad agencies. So I'm working with all these different people, and we're doing a commercial for Nissan, and it was like a bike carrier running through the streets, and then like it's like I want to say alert system for like a side alert system. So you just look over your shoulder, see a bike carrier passing through,
right?
And it was just like it was bikes in it. So obviously that was kind of like a big thing in the commercial. We had all these bikers, and I was like talking to Gary about bikes, and then obviously. For me, whenever I meet people, I'm always networking, trying to tell them what I'm doing and maybe seeing if there's some type of opportunity. And he was like, yo, let me see that. Like, showed him a video with me and a couple other homies. Not a couple, like probably like LA. It was 300 bikes on the 110 freeway. And he's like, how the hell you get all these bikes? And he's like, yeah, I'm seeing Bloods, Crips, homies. Like, oh, how you get all these dudes to ride together? And I'm like, through the power of bikes, bro. Like, that's why it's called Bikes Over Bangin. And you know, once you explain that and once somebody comes with that and knowing that that's the concept, you got to respect it or just you can't come around. And so you see how many people, they ain't going to just let 1-2 people come in and think that they're going to say, nah, fuck that. Yeah. It's not going down. So now it's more respect. And everybody in this thing's like the common enemy at that point is, you know, I hate to say it's the police because you don't want to get shut down. You don't want to get ran over. So now we sticking together. We got helicopters on us. it's so many different variables when it comes to what bike life is. And you know, from the East Coast to the West Coast, it's just us trying to enjoy riding our bikes. As we inner city kids with nowhere to ride.
Right.
And I think that that's like one of the biggest things about, you know, bike life. But back to what, you know, me meeting Gary, talking to him, and he's a big bike guy. He knew a couple of people that I knew. And I was, you know, we got into conversations about it, and he was like, "Yo, man, I'm doing a project coming up. You should be in it." You know, blah, blah, blah. And he went back and did his research and hollered at his people. Just because somebody say they know a person, he like, let me see if you know. He hit up. They like, yo, homie, nice. He be in the hood all the time. He come to our events. I know who he is. And they like, he like, oh, okay, so. You know, 6 months later, I get a call from Christopher Gray, which is a casting director. And he called me and we talked over the phone, and they told me I needed to get bikes from the 80s. So I had to go, you know, resource bikes and transportation and getting riders. So it was like I pretty much became a coordinator at that point.
Okay.
And to getting all that stuff. And we did the job. And it was crazy because, like, in the actual scene of Straight Outta Compton, you won't even see me in the actual cut because we shot so much.
Yeah.
And, you know, you look at such a small spot of what they use. They wanted a lower light when they use the actual footage. Like, I did some stuff with them, and I'm like, all right, cool, I'm in the movie. And I'm still in the movie credits. I'm still in all that stuff. But it's just like, I didn't get the actual shot. Or you see, oh, yeah, I could say that's me.
Yeah.
Because they use a later cut. But it still was dope. And the reason that happened was because the movie was shot like a day before I got married.
Oh, congrats on that.
Thank you. So we shot the movie. It was crazy because I had to fly to Hawaii because I got married in Hawaii. So I flew to Hawaii.
You Maui?
No.
Honolulu?
Yeah, Honolulu.
Yeah, me and my brother just came from Honolulu.
Yeah, it's dope. It's dope. Yeah, we did a show out there later on too. So it's on our page on Bikes Over Bangin.
Good stuff.
We'll get the content for that. So
there you go.
But
Will's everywhere. Look at him. That's what's up.
So yeah, so I had to fly out. Wifey, fam. We flew out to Hawaii. I got to Hawaii, went to the courtroom, got all our paperwork for the weekend, flew back to LA. I got back literally like 2 hours before a call. Had to go pick up everything, get to set. We started, you know, setting up, getting, you know, shot. Then I had to fly out that same day. So, you know, as the lights dropping, it's like, yo, I gotta go. I have to hop on this plane.
Yeah.
You know, I got all the footage on GoPro. I'll probably release it.
That's what's up. Yeah. Day in the life. That right there is like, I'm about to get married, but I still got to work. But
yeah,
you know,
and I still made it happen.
Yeah.
And it was crazy because my wife was like, you better make it back. Like, you know, and I'm like, damn. And I think at that time, too, it was like a hurricane or something that was coming in. So I was like, I had to fly before that. So it definitely was a lot of variables in that whole equation as well.
Yeah.
But I was able to make that happen and then did the movie, which kind of gave me a foot in the door to being a you know, SAG stunt performer. And then from there I just went, you know, just kept doing networking and getting more jobs to get me qualified more for SAG to be a part of the union. And then I was just, you know, I had a lot of people that helped me along the way. And you know, shout out to my mentor Jay Lynch.
Okay.
Jay Lynch, he's a phenomenal dude. One of the first black stunt performers for movies. I could sit here and do my whole interview on him, but it's not like, you know, you just gotta Google him, go on IMDb and check him out. He's been in over 200 and some films.
Oh man, you need to give him a call and tell him to come through.
He should be here. I just saw on his story, he's coming back from doing Fast and Furious 9, so
okay,
he'll be back soon. I see, you know. He's
also, they moving. The series still going. I thought Hobbs and Shaw was a spinoff, and they going okay.
Nah, they finishing that up right now. Well, he just finished his setup in there. He was out in Tablish. I can't even pronounce it. Y'all see
Bangladesh,
something over there.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Something over there.
Some shit I can't pronounce.
That shit ain't here.
Nah. But yeah, he that dude does bikes. He does cars. He's a major influence in my life, man. And, you know, I just hope to be, you know, one day to be that great, you know what I mean, when it comes to being a stunt performer and just holding the integrity that he holds and not being like, you would meet him dudes worth millions, but you wouldn't even know. He's just super humble, down to earth. And, you know, we've bonded so much over the last couple years. Just, you know, his daughter drives as well. Shout out Brianna Lynch too. She's another black stunt performer in the game. She did Taraji's part in Proud Mary.
Yeah.
She was a driver in the car. She did Black Panther. She was a driver in the car. She did a bunch of other stuff. I can't really.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good.
But yeah, but those are people and influences that, you know, kind of give me an outline on, you know, what the next step is for me. You know, like now I'm venturing into like drifting. I got a car now, so I'm building up a drift car and gonna be pretty much testing the waters. Not testing, but I already took it out. Just know I needed to build some stuff and put some stuff on it to getting that done. But like, I mean, my plans is to be more than just the bike scene, you know, because I feel like I had the opportunity. Why not take advantage of it?
So what is the ultimate goal? You know, because we talked a little downstairs that you've setting yourself up for success to get to the master plan. So what is the master plan for your movement?
For Bikes Over Bangin, man, I honestly want to I want to be able to facilitate riders and facilitate people like myself, so that it isn't as hard to get into what I'm doing. Like, it was a lot of work to get where I'm at, and I'm still not, you know, in a place where I can say, yo, I'm consistent. I'm doing, you know, I'm still hard working. Right. I'm working hard, but I want to be able to facilitate riders like the kids that I mentor. I've been able to get them in some projects as well. I did, was it Harley Davidson, I want to say? Yeah, Harley Davidson I did. I think it's like Live the Legends or Legends campaign that they did. So I did a commercial where one of the kids played me as a kid. It's like black kid and like 2 white kids, 1 girl, 1 boy, and then a black little kid. He's on the pedal bike. They pedaling bikes. They all racing. And then you see and then it kind of pans into the wheel, and the wheel's spinning and turns into a Harley wheel. And then they pan out, and it's, you know, the two white riders that, you know, grew up to be Harley riders, and it's me, the black rider that grew up to be a rider as well. And then you know, go past. So I was able to get him a spot in that. He's and that helped him get into like some quick and long commercials, and now he's pretty much up for whatever, you know, like he's able to get into. He has his foot in the door, and then another a couple other kids too. They, you know, have them do auditions and just open up the doors. That's kind of like what my plan is for everything. Obviously, merchandise, all that stuff we have as well. But really, the ultimate goal is just to create a lane for us, you know, and not just black, but just, you know, inner city minority people that don't have the resources to becoming something other than what we see all the time, like rapping or ball playing, and nothing wrong with that, but there's other things out there, and bikes was that for me. You know, I've always called myself, or I always like to refer myself as like the Mike Jordan of the bike game.
Yeah, know? For sure.
I mean, my icon on my Instagram is me stretched out like Mike Jordan on my bike. You know, like, I feel like, to me, that's what it is for me. You know, I didn't have a ball in my hand, I had a throttle in my hand, so like that's what life is for me. You know, it's bikes, it's bike lights on my fingers. You know, that's what life is for me.
Have you ever felt like,
man,
what was the worst accident that you ever had on these bikes? Because I feel like I wouldn't even wheelie a bicycle when I was a kid. I was like, fuck that.
I almost died like right here when you exit off the 10. You know, I was on a bike night ride, which is like Wednesday night bike night. And I was on my street bike, coming into a corner hot, downshifted to like second, coming in hot. And it was a kid that was following me, and he didn't have as much skill, you know, and he saw me and he was just on me, like, oh, he kind of racing me. And I'm like, all right, so I guess he got this. I'm going into this corner, I'm doing like 65, 70, and the corner's rated at 30. So I'm doing double the speed. You know, I know how to handle it. And I see this kid comes past me, and I'm already locked in, and I'm like, I'm in the apex and everything. I see him, and he starts to go straight to the wall because he didn't lean in. He didn't line it up. And boom, he hit the side. Okay, so you know the 10 freeway. You coming from the 10, you going east, and you going right by. You transferring from the 10 to the 110.
To the median. It's like a median there or something.
Nah, like it turns right by the convention center.
Okay.
Where Pico and all that is.
Okay.
And you know how like it's like, say this is a circle. You're coming from the 10, and it turns like this, and then boom, you go into the 110
right
towards Hollywood.
Okay.
Towards the 101.
Okay.
So before you make that transition, we coming around this corner, and I'm right here. He hits the bouncers off the wall, and he still got a lot of momentum. So he gets on the gas still, and there's a car, and there's a car about to T-bone him. So I let up. I let up and I'm like brush against the car and push him out the way. He hit the wall and kind of line the wall, but then I go to get back up, like to bring my bike back up, and then it just loses traction as I'm exiting out of the turn. So then my bike slides all the way down to 110. I'm sliding down to 110 too, flipping. All I see is lights. I see red lights, white lights, red lights, and I'm flipping. And then as it stops, I stop. My bike is all the way up there, and I stop, and I'm like, here's a car's white headlights, and it's me, and I'm like, oh damn, I almost got hit. Luckily, in that ambulance came through. They were already in the traffic because it was traffic. Picked me up, checked out my scars. I wasn't too badly beat up. Homies have a pickup truck. They always ride with us in bike night just in case something like that happened. They put my bike in. I went to bike night, and that's like one of many of crashes that I had on the street. But I just remember that's one that I like really saw, light flashing. Yeah, dude. But like, I done broke both ankles before. I just got off a broken ankle. Like I had my whole summer. I was in a cast, and then this summer, recently, I just got out of a cast to a boot to like now I'm still I'm still doing rehab for that. That's why you see me, at the gym. I'm trying to get, not trying, but I'm getting back to normal. But that's my life, dude. Like we do so much dangerous things. That's just like, even with Bad Boys, we had crashes. We had dudes break collarbones. I mean, that's part of the stunt.
I guess it comes with the territory, man. You know what you're signing up for, so you gotta just expect.
But I look at it like, man, I was doing this in the hood for free.
Right.
You know what I mean? Now I get to get paid to do something that, that I love to do, and then like I said, I was doing it for free. Not to say that it's not worth what it's worth now. It's been worth that, but now I've been able to tap into a network and a system that allows me to continue to build on my skill and utilize it to its full potential, and hopefully build that to bring other people along with me, kids and whoever. But that's really the basis behind Bikes Over Bangin is that, to be able to display and present and to capitalize on what we have to bring. That's what Bikes Over Bangin.
That's what it is, brother. I mean, like I said, I love the movement, and I appreciate the movement, for what the positive change is looking to make for the grand scheme of things, But you sound like a workaholic, stunt master. I mean, what does KORTA T do to unwind? What do you do to chill? I mean, you got the wifey.
Watch my son do his thing, man. It gives me a lot of joy watching the kids do their thing, watching them accomplish goals. And I mean, I'm regular, bro. Like, stud dude. Like, I chill. Like, I chill with some of my homies. Like, we just talked earlier. Some of the same people we know. Celebrity dudes.
Shout out to Fetty Wap and the Grit, RGF.
Yeah. My brother.
Mm-hmm.
But that's it, man.
That's what he did.
My brother. Baby. But that's it, man. Hanging out and just enjoying times, man. Enjoying the time that I got here, man. Because you never know, man, when your time's up. But I feel like it can't always be all work. You got to enjoy what you build to, enjoy the fruits of your labor. And I think that's it, man. And then knowing when it's time to get back in the trenches. And that's what I'm doing now, preparing to get back into the trenches. I mean, not to say I got out of them, but getting in the deep part now to where it's a lot of risk, but the benefits.
The rewards, there's no reward without the risk.
Yeah, risk of the rewards. Shout out to Ep5 Hustle, man. Got to balance it out. And I see the scale tipping on me, so I got to get it. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, R.I.P. Ep5 Hustle, the marathon continues. Straight up, man.
Yeah, I got the dedication bike that I did. My 450 race bike. I just put a bunch of all money in on it, and I worked with him a few times. I mean, we did the store release and, having conversations. And I was connected back to him before, a lot of the fame. Because my homie Nigel, rest in peace, and I lived on 60th Street. You know what I mean? Like, and his whole team, all the 60s, all of them, like, I was able to get in touch with them before it got big to where it's like more mainstream, but they still who they are, but it's just like a lot of mainstream now. But before that, I was able to I remember Nye calling me like, yo, because we started off on like little 50 bikes. We had street bikes, but we bought 50s, like little Honda 50s, and made them into little stunt bikes to practice and get tricks down. And I started mastering that. I killed it, and he bought one, my homie Nigel. and I would go over his house to help him work on it. And then once he got set up and we started doing little shows, I was able to get a sponsorship from LRG. You know, shout out to Jonas, rest in peace, Jonas. And that's like some of my early, ventures into networking. But he introduced me to Nip back then when he was doing like music, and I didn't really know who he was like that. You know, I just knew the 60s. I remember him calling me like, come through, bring your bike. And I'm like, man, 60s needs to be snatching this shit. Like, I ain't about to go over there and get my bike took. Like, he like, man, you over here with me, man. I'm like, everybody needs to tell you that, but I'm like, all right, I'll pull up. They got no pull. He like, man, so I'll pull up, and it's just like that. Now he was that dude. And he's pulling up, oh, cuz, who is this? Cuz, nice. I thought you was the hardest night. He like, nah, my boy KORTA T put me on, and like, cuz, all of them niggas that was over there, and they just always show love. And now I am where I am now. It's like, man, damn, cuz, you still doing this shit. You still out here representing. Like, I remember getting calls from my homie JG, like, yo, pull up. Like, I'm on the block. I'm on Madden with BH. Like, pull up on the bike. I took the electric bike over there when I was sponsored by Alta. I took the bike over there and let BH hop on. He like, cuz, what's this? Cuz, this motherfucker, this electric, cuz. Like, put it on the power mode, low power mode. He like, damn. And I put it on the high one. He like, oh, cuz, all right, give me one of these. Like, this motherfucker, cuz, they can't even hear it. I'm like, but that was like relationship. That's why I say network is the biggest part of life, man. Right. If you can't be scared to speak, you can't be afraid to like get out here and touch and talk to people. When you hit me up about this interview, I just hit Will like, yo, pull up, we're gonna go do this interview. And I didn't even we hadn't really had talk like that, but I'm like, yo, I do interviews all day. It's a networking opportunity. So I pulled up, and that's just what it is, man. And especially in LA, it's a lot of opportunity, and I know that I got the upper hand on a lot of the dudes that are on the East Coast. And even when I look at my social network following, I got like 20,000 followers or whatever, but I look at a lot of the East Coast dudes, they got like 120,000, and they reach out to all these people, but they reaching out to people that can't really do nothing but like your picture and do stuff. I look at my 20,000, I got so many people that I know that are in the industry that are like, that have a lot of pull different places. So to me, it's like, yo, your networking really, it's not who you know. I mean, it's not what you know, it's who you know, and then who they know. So it's like now I see my hands being able to extend more. It's just now it's me focusing on tapping into that to utilize it to bring all of it together. Right. So that I can do this. Like I just won a poker game. That's how I feel. Yeah. So I can bring these chips in and start branching them out to the right people. Right. You know what I mean, that's around me and surrounding me.
So like they say, your network is your net worth.
Nah, for real.
That's a big fact.
For real.
But shit, man, I want to thank you for coming through, my brother. Oh, man. You gave a lot of information, man, and I wish you much success with Bikes Over Bangin, man. I think, like I said, it's definitely a step forward to change the perception on gang banging culture, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. We're a major influence on a lot of it, bro. I mean, you can see from everything that always goes viral and big, this negative stuff that comes from us. It's like, man, what you think influenced, everybody in the hood to be who we are? It's just that. Right. I'm here to get a positive side of it, so I'm gonna continue to do so.
As you doing, man. Keep up the great work, yes, man. Sir. I want to thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of Sleep is for Billionaires, the podcast. I am your host, Johnny VEGAZ, the boy KORTA T. Let the people know where they can follow you.
Hey, man, you can follow me at KORTA MFNT. That's KORTAMFNT. And if you want to get more information about Bikes Over Bangin, you can follow us and check us out. www.bikesoverbangin.com. And it's the same for our Instagram, BIKESBANGN, and that's the @ in front. And Instagram, man. Check us out.
There it is, man. Sleep is for Billionaires, the podcast. Make sure you subscribe, because I need it, goddamn.
We need that.
All right, we out of here, man.
Let's get it.
Holla.